So today, we're going to talk about a hazard that's pretty much everywhere, from a huge factory floor to a small office kitchen. We're talking about spills, and we're going to break down how you can shift from just, cleaning them up after they happen to actually stopping them in their tracks. It's all about turning a big risk into a safety plan you can actually manage. So let's dive in. It's a question you've probably asked yourself, right? You see a little puddle on the floor, a few drops of something, and you think, it's no big deal. But honestly, that tiny little spill can set off a chain reaction with some surprisingly huge consequences. And this is really the heart of it. A spill isn't just an annoying mess someone has to clean up. Nope, it's one of the main reasons people slip and fall at work, and those accidents can lead to some really serious long-term injuries. And for the business, well, that translates directly into major costs. We're talking everything from medical bills and rising insurance premiums to just plain old lost productivity. Okay, so let's really dig into what those dangers are, because we're not just talking about a wet spot on the carpet. We're talking about a ripple effect that can seriously impact your whole operation. This chart lays it all out pretty clearly. That biggest bar there, that's employee injuries. No surprise, your team is at the highest risk. But look right behind that, the business costs. That's from lost work time, potential lawsuits, you name it. And of course, we can't forget about visitors or customers who might be walking through. The big takeaway here is that one single drip can cause a whole lot of trouble for people's health and the company's wallet. So, knowing all that, how do we actually get ahead of this problem? Well, the answer isn't just a better mop and bucket. It's a whole different mindset. It's time to stop reacting to spills and start preventing them before they even have a chance to happen. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't fix a problem if you don't know where it is. The absolute foundation of any good prevention plan is just taking a good hard look at your workspace. It's about walking around and asking, okay, where are the liquids? Where's the water cooler? Where do we store the cleaning supplies? So where should you start looking? Well, there are the usual suspects, of course. The break room kitchen, the bathrooms. If you're in a more industrial setting, you're obviously going to look at labs or manufacturing areas. But the main idea is super simple. Anywhere liquids are being used, moved around, or just stored, that's a potential hotspot that needs to be on your map. All right, so once you've figured out where the trouble spots are, the next question is how to deal with them. And a really solid prevention strategy is built on just a few key pillars. And here they are. It's a four-part plan. We've already talked about number one, finding those high-risk zones. The next three build right on top of that. You got to have the right gear to contain spills, you need a team that knows exactly what to do, and you have to keep your equipment in good shape to stop leaks before they even start. You put those four things together, and you've got a complete, proactive system. And this really gets to the core of that mindset shift we were talking about. The reactive way is just, it's damage control. You're cleaning up after something bad has already happened. And trust me, that's always more expensive. The proactive approach, on the other hand, is an investment. It's not about putting out fires. It's about building a safety culture where spills are seen as totally preventable, not just something that's bound to happen. Okay, let's talk gear for a second. It breaks down into three main types. First, you have absorbents. These are the things that soak up the mess. Pads, those long socks, granules, that kind of stuff. Then you have containment gear. Its job is to stop a spill from getting any bigger. Think of spill pallets that go under drums or berms that act like a little dam. And finally, you've got your spill kits, which are basically your all-in-one emergency response in a box. You know, you can have the fanciest, most expensive equipment in the world, but it's totally useless if your team has no idea how to use it. That's why good training is maybe the most important pillar of all. Your employees are your eyes and ears on the ground. They're your first line of defense. Giving them the knowledge they need is the best investment you can possibly make. So what does that training actually look like? Well, it's got to start with the basics, like how to handle and store liquids properly to avoid a spill in the first place. Then it has to cover the what if, what to do when a spill actually happens. And this part is huge. You have to drill into everyone how important it is to report every single spill, no matter how tiny it seems. And finally, get their hands dirty. Let them practice with the actual spill kits and gear you have. And now for our fourth pillar, and this is the one that's so easy to forget. That slow drip from a leaky pipe, that little crack in a storage drum, that's how big problems start.
Setting up a schedule for regular inspections and preventative maintenance isn't optional, it's essential. It's all about catching those small issues before they become big, slippery messes.
All right, so let's be realistic. Even with the best prevention plan in the world, a spill might still happen. And when it does, having a clear, simple protocol that everybody understands is the key to making sure the situation is handled safely. Your cleanup plan should really come down to 3 simple steps that everyone can remember. Step 1, report it right away. Don't wait. This gets the right people on it fast. Step 2, use the right stuff to clean it up. You wouldn't use water on an oil spill, right? Using the wrong cleaner can make things so much worse. And 3, get rid of the contaminated cleanup materials safely, following whatever guidelines are in place. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's boil it all down to the one central idea that you should really take with you. This quote says it all, doesn't it? Preventing liquid spills in the workplace requires a proactive approach. It's not about trying to be perfect and never have a spill. It's about being prepared. It's about changing the culture from one of reaction to one of prevention. And the payoff is huge. When you identify your risks, get the right equipment, train your team, and stay on top of maintenance, you're not just ticking boxes on a safety checklist. You are actively creating a safer place for everybody to work, and you're protecting your people and your business from the very high price of an accident. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you go into work tomorrow, take a fresh look around. Think about those 4 pillars we just talked about. Are you just waiting around for the next spill to happen? Or are you actively working to stop it? Honestly, your answer to that question could make all the difference.